Good morning, everyone. My name is Winter Green Allen, and I'm the Associate Director of the Honors Program. I use the pronoun she, her, and hers, and I am so excited to welcome you here to our Honors New Student Orientation for the class of 2025. I'm also the Academic Advisor for the Baruch Scholars. I am born and raised in South Queens, but I'm calling in today from Long Island, New York. Congratulations on your acceptance to the Baruch College Honors Program as a member of either the Baruch Scholars Program or the Macaulay Honors Program. We are so happy to introduce you to the opportunities that await for you as a member of our Honors Program community at Baruch.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Harmony Osei, and I am the Assistant Director of the Honors Program, and I also advise a different group of Honors Scholars called Provost Scholars. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm joining you today from the best borough, of course, Brooklyn, specifically Crown Heights. And so I'm really happy to meet all of you and have you here with us today. And so what I'm going to explain to you is the 3 parts of orientation. So welcome and thank you so much for getting up early and joining us for part 1 of orientation today, where our focus is more so on community building. So it's very important for us to build community and relationships within our specific program, especially virtually. Also, of course, some of you mentioned that you're looking forward to getting your schedule. We know that's always a big thing for new college students. And so just keep an eye out for over the next week. You will be receiving an email from your advisor about your schedule, which is very exciting. So this part is, of course, mandatory. And the next part of us celebrating our community and of orientation is part 2, which will take place in June and July. And from June 9th to July 29th, then you will have advisement sessions one-on-one with your academic advisor via Zoom. And this is where we will go over your schedules, discuss transfer credits, AP credit, adjustments to your schedule if needed. And so you'll be receiving an email after today with additional information and next steps on how to schedule that advisement appointment. And then the third part, which is not mandatory, but is strongly encouraged, and it's definitely a part that students in the past have told us have been extremely beneficial, is part 3 will be with peer mentors. And we're so fortunate today to have some amazing student leaders with us today who will be speaking to you in the breakout rooms. And these will be virtual hangouts. And so throughout the months of July and August, you will have an opportunity to speak with current students. So maybe during the summer, you have a random question or you want to talk about classes or buying textbooks or getting into the residence hall, just tons of different things relating to being a college student and embarking on this new journey. And this is where you can join these different hangouts and ask those questions to our amazing peer mentors. And so moving along, you'll see that the theme for our orientation is "And Still We Rise." And today the learning goals are to define this acronym. And RISE stands for Respect Through Inclusion, Service, and Equity. And it represents the principles of the Baruch Honors Program and the different values that we have within our community. It is very important, especially in this climate, that we continue to respect and support one another as we grow and learn together as a community. So today we'll be discussing RISE, and we'll explain how it'll be represented throughout your entire academic career of being a scholar at Baruch College. And we're going to be using, again, some activities, different interactive polls, and the breakout rooms to reinforce the importance of RISE and how you'll utilize this approach during your time as a scholar. And so I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you much closer. And what we'll do next is go into much more detail about the different aspects of RISE.
Thank you so much, Harmony. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Eileen Maycath. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am one of the Macaulay Academic Advisors here at Baruch College. Like Harmony mentioned, our acronym of RISE, the first letter R is for respect. And so we have a definition here. The honors program is dedicated to creating effective strategies that improve the environment to promote persistence to graduation of all scholars. Students have unique desires and goals. They want to feel that they are appreciated by their institution and treated fairly. They want to be challenged and excited by the academic opportunities available to them. The honors program mandates respect for each member of our community at all times.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura and I'm also one of the peer mentors. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm tuning in from Brooklyn. And I just want to go over with you guys what respect means in terms of the honors program expectations. So the first one is academic integrity, and that's a commitment to and demonstration of honest and moral behavior in an academic setting. And I'm pretty sure that one's a bit self-explanatory to everyone. It just comes in terms of knowing that the work that you're doing and the work that you're handing in is your own work. The next one is self-advocacy. Scholars will be able to know themselves, know their needs, and know how to get what they need and want. Your honors advisor is there to help. And that essentially means that throughout your 4 years here at Baruch, you're going to learn how to advocate for yourself, seek out the information that you need, and stand up for yourself with the help of your honors advisor. And the next one is experiential learning / international education, and that's respecting cultural exchanges while learning through experience. Scholars will be engaged in the learning process by becoming invested in their learning, and this is more in terms of the study abroad programs that Baruch offers, and that essentially means that while you're on these programs, you're respecting the culture, respecting the education you get, and respecting the education that you're getting here at your home campus. And that concludes the section on respect in the honors program.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Bowles, also known as just simply Tony. My pronouns are he and him. I'm phoning in from a small island, also known as Manhattan, uptown in Harlem. And I'm here to talk a little bit about inclusivity and what that means. As part of being part of the Baruch Honors program, you're going to be a part of so many different communities. And what we really want is to all be included, regardless of race, background, gender, and everything else. And that's really what our community is about. So I'm really happy to talk to you all about inclusivity. And the definition here that we came up with, and I'll read it off. Promoting inclusion in the honors program should foster a sense of belonging. It is a continual process that should be maintained and nurtured to be effective. Inclusion includes the act of creating an environment in which any individual or group will be welcomed, respected, supported, and valued as a fully participating member. An inclusive and welcoming climate embraces and respects differences. I'm also joined by my two wonderful peer mentors who will be walking you through an activity and following up on what I just mentioned.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Anika, and as Tony mentioned before, I am one of your peer mentors. My pronouns are she, her, and I am calling in from Long Island, New York. I am a finance major. So let's get started with our activity today. So I think there should be a link in the chat being sent out soon. But first of all, think of a time when you were in a team or a group and you felt different from others and excluded. Perhaps the first day at a new school or a group project where everyone else was in the group were friends. So think of that experience and identify two or three words to describe how you felt during that experience, and then type that in to the link that was sent in the chat. So a lot of people feel that they're lonely, that it made them feel isolated. I know that I can really relate to feelings of isolation and loneliness too. Yeah, and I think everyone knows how a word tree works, but the biggest word is the most common. So yeah, lonely seems to be a big one. That is a very natural feeling, and I think we here at the Honors College try to strive our best to make sure that everyone doesn't feel that way. Obviously, those are natural, but like Jody said in the chat, we are here for you. Now, I think that most people have had their words in. Now we can move on to our next section, which Shermeen will go ahead and
Awesome. So hi everyone, I'm Sharmeen. I'm currently a senior at Baruch College. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm calling in from Long Island as well. And so this portion is just about the honors program expectations. So the first thing you all should know is that the honors program also offers many honors courses that are interdisciplinary. So whether it be reclaiming the Black body in European art, Latin American Shibum, there's been various courses that the program has offered in the past. And so these give you the ability to really understand and step out of your comfort zone to learn more about these other topics. In addition, we also encourage cultural exploration, and so scholars will acquire an appreciation of diverse cultural forms and perspectives. And you can actually find these on campus, whether it be through the Baruch Performing Arts Center, the Michigan Gallery, and even through our honors events. And the first year seminar and honors program community, this is the best way to first be in an inclusive environment with all members of the community. And we highly encourage you all to interact, and through the arts and cultural exploration, you'll get the opportunity to really see and understand what's happening on the Baruch campus as well. And so moving forward.
Hello, scholars. My name is Troy Heffron. I'm one of the Macaulay advisors. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am calling in from Manhattan, the Lower East Side, not too far from Baruch's campus. I'm going to talk a little bit about service. Service is personally very important to me, but also I think it weaves in very seamlessly with each of these other values in the RISE acronym. So our definition here, the honors program values service to our community, whether local, national, or global. We define service as something to participate in entirely, without pity or preconception, but with a completely open mind and open heart. And so we have a couple of distinctions here. I think people think of service in many different ways, and so having these distinctions can help narrow down what we mean by service. So our first one, service versus fixing. What's the difference? Fixing is a form of judgment. All judgment creates distance, a disconnection, an experience of difference. In fixing, there is an inequality of expertise that can easily become a moral distance. We cannot serve at a distance. We can only serve that to which we are profoundly connected, that which we are willing to touch. And this definition and quote is from Helping, Fixing, or Serving by Rachel Naomi Remen. Next distinction here is service versus helping. What's the difference? Service is different from helping. Helping is based on inequality. It is not a relationship between equals. When you help, you use your own strength to help those of lesser strength. If I'm attentive to what's going on inside of me when I'm helping, I find that I'm always helping someone who's not as strong as I am, who is needier than I am. People feel this inequality. Again, that's by Rachel Naomi Remen. So that's a little bit of a distinction of what service is, but there's so many wonderful benefits to performing and engaging in service. And so to talk about the benefits and some of the honors expectations around that are a couple more peer mentors.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea. I am currently a rising junior here at Baruch, majoring in finance. I am one of the peer mentors. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm tuning in from Long Island City, Queens. So I'm going to discuss some of the benefits of service with everyone. First and foremost, service helps to create a connection to the community, and it also helps to establish contacts and friendships. And actually, the easiest way to make friends is through activities you perform together. Service can also increase your professional and peer network, as well as benefits career prospects. So through service, you can definitely improve your skills, such as teamwork and communication. And these are skills that are very important to future life, as well as career, not only your academic work as well. And lastly, a very important benefit of service is that it raises social awareness. So reading or hearing about issues isn't quite the same as getting personally involved. And through community service, you can definitely get the chance to be involved in an organization's mission. So now I'm going to pass it off to the next peer mentor.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Nazia Malik. My preferred pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I just finished my freshman year of college, so I'm going to be a rising sophomore. and I'm majoring in statistics and quantitative modeling, and I am also a peer mentor for the honors program. So to piggyback off of what both Troy and Andrea had said, I'm going to be talking about the honors program expectations regarding service. So service is one of the puzzle pieces, as you can see in the middle, of the social change model of leadership development. And the honor program uses this framework that is seen in the middle to enhance the capabilities in every scholar. This framework is both included in the honor syllabus and is kind of the core of our first year seminar sessions. And as you can see, leadership and service are one of the puzzle pieces that connect to the core of academic excellence. So one part of leadership and service is obviously leadership, and leadership can be developed through the many classes that you have to take at Macaulay. So whether it be your IDC classes or just any other honors classes that you decide to take, it can also be seen through a fellowship opportunity that you get or an internship. And in addition to the opportunities at Macaulay, you also have programs at Baruch, such as those that are given by the Star Career Development Center that also have programs and networking opportunities to help you build your leadership skills. So next, you also have service, and service is defined as, well, they say the honors program values service to the community. We recognize service as an opportunity for learning and reflection. So every scholar is required to participate in, I believe, 30 hours of community service by their junior year, which is divided into 10-hour intervals by each year. So that, even though that is a requirement, it is like encouraged to participate in events that you do have a connection with. And on top of that, you can also join clubs at both Baruch and Macaulay. So I will be passing it on to Winter.
Hello, hi, good morning again. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about equity. So I'm going to read, feel free to read along with me, the definition that we have here for equity within our program. So the honors program acknowledges that equity recognizes everyone doesn't begin in the same place in society. Some people do face adverse conditions and circumstances, making it more challenging with the same effort to achieve the same goals. Equity advocates for those who may have been historically disadvantaged, making it difficult for them to be successful. What is fair as it relates to equity isn't a question of what is the same, but rather the point from which a person begins. Equity takes into account historical and other factors in determining what is fair. So a lot of this definition talks about what's fair and taking into account individuals. That's part of why students in the honors program have an advisor to help walk you through what you need as you're a student here at Baruch. So I'm going to just pass along to my peer mentor who's here, who's going to get into a little bit more information, and then we'll come back with an activity in a few.
Hello, I'm Sandra. I'm the peer mentor for the Baruch Scholars Program. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a marketing major. So I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit about the difference between equity and equality, because even though they're very similar, they're very different at the same time, because equity is more about treating everyone the same, but also providing them with what they need at that exact time and bringing into account their differences, while equality is just treating everyone the same exact way and giving them the exact same thing. So for example, a coach would give everyone the same shoes regardless of what size they need, while in the equity model, the coach would give all these players the shoes that are in the right size for them.
And just to go over very quickly the visuals that we have listed here, I'm sure some of you have seen some version of this graphic in the past. So we have the first picture here where we're looking at an equality model. So everyone here is trying to watch a game. You give everyone the same box, and that is equality. It's the same. But the question is that fair? So as we move on to our equity model, what is fair would be the resources that were allocated to the first individual here was not needed. So it was redistributed to the individual who did need those additional resources. So having here the sameness with equality versus what we see as fair to our equity model. And this picture goes a little bit further and has a liberation model here. So you can see that the differences between our liberation model is that the structural barrier, the actual wall that's there, is missing. So unfortunately, we don't have the time today to go into more detail about what students might think that can be representative of and how that can be represented in different models, having a physical structure in play. But as you can see in the liberation model, it's not there. So there's no need for those resources. For example, everyone has access to see in this model a game, everyone can see the game. The boxes are not needed in that liberation model. So again, thank you very much for participating in our poll. And we'll have Sandra come back and talk a little bit more about our expectations.
So for the honors requirement, we have a little bit of a research that we have to do. And this research allows you to learn something new, develop problem-solving skills, and challenge yourself in new ways. So like we see with the liberation model before, we wouldn't know to get rid of the fence if we never asked what's blocking the men from seeing the game. So by asking these questions, you're allowed to bring yourself with new solutions and understand the problem at hand instead of just from one point of view. And that will bring back to like the creative inquiry, where honors communities encourage inquiry-based learning, and this places students at the center of learning and discovery and construction process. And I find this very interesting because I find that a lot of honor students are very independent and self-thinking. So many of us want to do our own things, create a schedule that will fit our own needs. Like for example, even though I'm a marketing major, I like art on the side, so I'm an art minor as well. So I'm able to take those classes because I have the flexibility as an honors student. And with our creativity, we have a creative inquiry day, which allows us to celebrate our strength and diversity within the community. It's essentially a science fair, but for like different majors. And it's not just a pen and paper event where you show up with a paper and explain what you did. You could also be more creative with it. And many students and even professors, they even come up with songs, poems, presentation. Like it's just to share creative thoughts and creative ideas. And it's also not just solely based on your major, because a few accounting students can also bring in their side hobbies, their side jobs, whatever they like, such as like maybe a music side of them that we never knew about. They could bring that in and show off their creative inquiries. So I'm gonna have Winter go on and explain what other requirements that you'll have to do before we start our breakout rooms.
Thank you, Sandra. So now that we are moving on to our next step section, everyone here should have already activated their Baruch email address. You should all be checking your Baruch email address. There's lots of important information going there. So we want to make sure you're not missing out on anything. So make sure that you have access to that information. So next, after today, you should be receiving an email from your advisor, most likely at that Baruch email address, with information versus part 2 of orientation. So that one-on-one meeting where you get a chance to ask your individual questions and sort of start building that relationship with your advisor. That's the hallmark of our honors program, having a dedicated advisor. We follow a cohort model, so your advisor follows you from freshman year until you graduate. So we want to start cultivating those relationships now. So you'll be meeting with your advisor one-on-one, and in that email, you'll receive information on how to set up that appointment. You should also be sending in your AP score reports. For those of you who filled out the pivot beforehand, thank you very much. Your advisors have been going through and sifting through courses that we're expecting for you to transfer in and adjusting your first semester schedule accordingly. So please remember, you do have to send official score reports. For those of you who did fill out the pivot, they were mostly unofficial transcripts from College Board, which is fine for us, but for credit to be officially transferred over, official score reports have to be sent to Baruch. So again, your advisor will give you more information on how to do that. And there's also a note here about your FAFSA and TAP. So we want to make sure that students are eligible for their full tuition merit scholarship, and that involves filling out the financial aid forms every year. So FAFSA is a federal form. All of our students need to fill those out. But as Emily mentioned before, if we have some students who are from outside of New York State, that TAP application is not for you. That is only for our New York State residents. So again, your advisor can answer very individual or specific questions about which forms need to be filled out. But at this point, they should all be completed as of now. So thank you very much. And again, make sure your Baruch emails are activated and that you are checking those emails frequently.